Drop that.
Alright, so I've been really lazy for the past couple of days, and I don't really feel like uploading this super late on Friday, so you're most likely going to see this on Saturday, and hopefully I am not lazy again, and I actually make a couple other videos that I said I was planning on doing, but of course because I'm a honestly lying, stupid, fucking lazy-ass motherfucker, I'm probably never going to do them. But we're back with episode 66 of Boruto, Naruto Next Generations, and you know, I already didn't have too much expectations for this episode. I wasn't really sure what they were gonna do, but it was honestly a lot more interesting than I thought I was going to. There was one particular scene that honestly made me want to fucking cry, but the context of it makes sense when you kind of think about it, and it's just like it's so happy that if you follow along with like the story and everything, you know, like the context of like what happened in like the Boruto movie and like everything else, it's just like, oh, it's so happy, I want to cry, you know. It's just, I'll get into that in a minute, but like I said, I didn't have much expectations for this episode, especially because of, you know, the godly episode that we had last week, or the last episode for Boruto. That episode is the best Boruto episode that the series is probably going to have for a while, unless they do something that can top it. But for now, that is the best Boruto episode that we're ever going to probably get for at least a while, especially in the next like coming weeks, because they're going to do some filler. Unfortunately, we're going to see a couple of filler stuff, so whatever. So the episode pretty much starts kind of like how the way that you think it was going to start, and we're back in the Leaf Village. Sasuke opens up the fucking Rinnegan portal shits with his fucking eye, and they make it back to the Hidden Leaf. Everyone's there, the 5 Kage, Sasuke, Naruto, and Boruto, and you know, everyone's obviously really happy to see them all back, especially Hinata, who almost fucking died because she tried to save him from Momoshiki. And obviously because her son was there and he could have fucking died. Honestly, how did Boruto not fucking die? But whatever. So yeah, like I said, the episode pretty much starts like the way that you think. It starts off with that, and everything starts kind of going back more on schedule, more normally how it was before. Naruto is back doing, you know, Hokage stuff and like busy like work and Hokage business work and shit. The Chunin exams were canceled, so far no one has been made Chunin, but of course this happened before back in part 1, so someone could still potentially become a Chunin, because that's what happened with Shikamaru. I almost said Shikadai, but Shikamaru back in part 1. And, you know, because there was a lot of damages caused by Momoshiki inside of the Hidden Leaf, of course they had to go and start rebuilding a lot of the fucking stuff that was completely destroyed by the attack in the Leaf. And then they have their fucking opening. They do their opening. It cuts back to the episode, and Boruto is actually meeting up with Shinki and his other teammates from the Sand Village, and he's basically apologizing for them getting involved with all the stuff that happened with Momoshiki, at least the little bit of what happened, because it happened at the Chunin exams, of course. And then, of course, because Boruto, I guess, wanted to apologize for, you know, for him cheating during the Chunin exams, you know, because Shinki is the strongest genin in this fucking series so far. I don't care what the fuck you say. Shinki is the strongest motherfucker that is currently in the new cast, especially from not even just being outside of the village. Like, if even if he was from the Leaf, he would still be the strongest, because simply he just has the Iron Sand, and that's fucking ridiculous. And plus, Gaara, you know, Gaara is still kind of ridiculous because he manipulates his Iron Sand kind of like how Gaara does as well. So he apologizes for that. Shinky doesn't really seem to really give a shit. The puppet master guy, I don't really know his fucking name. He's just kind of like, whatever, you don't need to apologize, whatever. And then the girl with the fucking like headphones in her ears, and then like the hood, she's just like, don't do it again, yada yada, fucking typical like wagging finger, like no, bad. And she says later, and then they fucking leave or some shit. We cut to Naruto, Shikamaru, and Sasuke is getting ready to leave because they still need to do whatever investigation work with involving Kaguya, because there was actually one guy, one of the 3 Otsutsuki members, that he actually escaped. Urashiki, I think that's how you pronounce his name. Correct me if I'm wrong. He got away. He got away, and he's still kind of like roaming around somewhere. We actually see him briefly at the end of the episode, and he says some stuff about like Toneri and how Boruto was the guy or the person he was talking about. Still don't know what the fuck Toneri is doing. He's just there on the moon doing whatever the fuck he's doing. I think last time we saw him, he got like frozen or some shit by Urashiki. I'm not entirely sure. But yeah, basically they're going to be doing some more investigative work on like anything revolving around Kaguya and the Otsutsuki. So Sasuke is planning to leave because he's the only one that can actually go into any of the dimensions of Kaguya's because of his Rinnegan. So he's gonna do all that fucking bullshit. I'm starting to trying to figure out what else fucking happened. So I actually forgot a little bit of what happened in the episode because it was kind of all over the place. It wasn't really structured. It kind of just like was all over the place. Next, we finally get to see the conclusion of what Shikadai was, thinking with how Boruto used the ninja tool to fucking cheat in the tuning exams. And long story short, they pretty much, understand each other, I guess, whatever, and they basically start becoming more like friends again and stuff. They especially talk about like the 5 Kage and how they're all exceptionally strong, especially Naruto. Like Naruto, and that's not really a shocker. But Boruto's talking about how like their power is fucking insane. They were like monsters and shit. I thought that was a little bit of a funny moment, I guess. But they basically what the fuck, Starkin? They start talking about their ninja ways and the paths that they're gonna take continuing on with the series, of course. We know that Boruto is going to be not on the track of becoming the next Hokage. We already know that's what Sawada wants to do. So Boruto wants to become more like someone like Sasuke, someone who can, be there and be exceptionally strong, but not have to, protect a village. He wants to be able to protect everyone, I guess. I'm not even really sure what the fuck Sasuke really does, like outside of like Kaguya investigation stuff bullshit, right? They have a little moment with Shinky, and he basically kind of just has this fucking hate boner, I guess, for Boruto or something. I think he's like kind of pissed off because he didn't get to join the fight against Momoshiki, and I guess he's just kind of like pissed off that Boruto did or something. It wasn't really all that explained. It was kind of weird. And then we get more talk about what happened in terms of Momoshiki talking to Boruto and, a consciousness inside of, Boruto's mind and involving his eye. Like, we learned that in the last episode that he's inherited a lot of the power of the Otsutsuki. Now, what does that mean? I have no idea. But obviously, Boruto talked about this with both probably Naruto and Sasuke. And since then, he hasn't seen anything revolving around Momoshiki. His eye hasn't appeared. And apparently, a couple of times, his arm had some paralysis effect going on. And, Sasuke pretty much just says to him that it's not normal. What's happening to you isn't normal. So be on your guard. And spoiler alert, he has a mark on his fucking palm. And I'm gonna go ahead. I saw this literally in my fucking recommended feed. I'm so pissed off that I saw it in my recommended feed because I hate it when I fucking see this shit. It's so stupid to me that this shit can still happen on fucking YouTube. But regardless, There is an official name for the mark that is on Boruto's palm, but I'm gonna go ahead and just assume that it's the same type of marking that Boruto gets at the beginning of episode 1 of Boruto. Remember when he activated his eye, and then he also had like markings all over his body? I'm assuming that the small like little mark on his hand, his palm, is gonna involve something with whatever the fuck that is. Whether or not it's a power boost, whether or not it's a transformation, if it's something like the curse mark, maybe. I have no idea. It kind of looks like it has a curse mark effect, besides like the obvious, but we'll have to wait and see whatever happens later on. Sarada and fucking Sasuke have that little moment. Orochimaru actually meets up with Mitsuki a little bit. Of course, he has to like hide his identity or whatever, but Mitsuki and Orochimaru are like talking to each other. It's kind of cute because Orochimaru was acting like a dad, and you don't really see that with Orochimaru because he's kind of like the bad guy most of the time. But he was kind of acting like a dad because, you know, Mitsuki is Orochimaru's like son and whatever. Boruto talks all this fucking bullshit. How, oh yeah, I'm not gonna become Hokage. I want to be a shinobi like your dad. Yada yada. To Sarada. Sarada, blushing and embarrassed, is just trying to avoid like, oh yeah, that was cool. Whatever. It's like, oh yeah, you have bluer eyes like than your dad. I noticed Mitsuki and I were talking about that. Whatever. Stupid ass fucking moment. And then we finally see the mark on his palm. It's the same scene. It continues on, and we see the mark on his palm because he removes the bandages after, you know, obviously he had sustained a little bit of injury on his fucking arm with the massive gigantic Rasengan that he threw at Momoshiki. And then he returns home, and Naruto is there. Naruto is there, and they're setting up the table. And that's because he brought a cake. And I guess this is basically his way of apologizing for basically what happened with him not being there for Boruto's birthday and him not actually being there for Himawari's birthday. So this is kind of like a, oh, I'm sorry for not being there for your birthday kind of party thing. And Himawari is just being adorable, as always, as she always is. It makes me so happy to fucking see this. Boruto punches Naruto in the fucking gut because he thinks he's a shadow clone. And he's like, oh, so you're not a shadow clone. And then, of course, Naruto gets a little fucking pissy at him because he's like, oh, why did you fucking assume that I was a shadow clone, you little fucking shithead? And Himawari jumps in on Naruto's back, and it's adorable. Hinata being, you know, a mom and all, she gets a little like pissy at him, like, oh, I'm gonna take the cake away if you don't like calm down. They apologize and like, no, let's just eat the cake, whatever. And then they start laughing, they're smiling, they're enjoying themselves, and this is the moment I was talking about, like, oh, this makes me want to fucking cry, because this is literally all I asked for. All I asked for was to Naruto to actually be there with Hinata, Himawari, and Boruto, and then to just interact with each other. And not have Boruto being like, oh, I still hate you, Dad. Like, no, they're just happy. They're being a family. I'm just like, yes, this is what I wanted. You finally gave this to me, you fucking assholes. The episode ends. Boruto and Naruto, they overslept, and then they're off to do whatever they gotta do. Boruto has a little bit of a monologue saying, oh yeah, that was my dad's story. He wanted him and my grandpa wanted to be Hokage. They were Hokage, but now this is my story, and my story has begun, or whatever he said. And that's pretty much the end of the episode. Nothing else really happens besides what happens at the end of the credits with Urashiki, with him talking about like how Tsuneri was talking about Boruto and stuff, and that's pretty much it. And then we see the previews, and they were just like, yeah, we're gonna give fucking filler. So be on the lookout for that. So it's gonna be boring. It's gonna be a boring next couple weeks, but what are you gonna do? You know, they just finished, you know, kind of a big arc, you know, so I'm not really surprised that this is gonna be the case for a little bit. So regardless, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap up the video here. If you did enjoy, be sure to leave a like, and if you are new to the channel, please consider hitting that subscribe button for more videos just like this. I hope you guys have a fantastic, wonderful day. I'll see you guys in the next one. I'm out. Peace.